Hello, bookers and bookettes. Welcome back to the channel. And in some cases, welcome to the channel. I am your host, Blue-Eyed Black Devil, and I am here with this week's feature of About the Author. Okay, please excuse or my apologies for any coughing or sniffling I might do. I'm not sick. I think it's just the changing of the seasons that's getting ready to occur that's got me sounding a little less than myself. But anyway, let's go on. I told you all at the end of the last video I uploaded about a week ago that I was going to read The Road by Cormac McCarthy, and I did. But while reading, it dawned on me I had not chosen an author for this week's segment of About the Author. So I decided, why not just choose him? Which is just what I did. So let's hop right into it, shall we? Mr. Charles Joseph McCarthy Jr. was born on July 20th, 1933 in Providence, Rhode Island. The eldest of 6 children, he and his family relocated to Knoxville, Tennessee around 2037, so 4 years old when they left Rhode Island. And this is where Knoxville, Tennessee, or Tennessee the state, it didn't say all over, but this is where he was primarily raised. In 1951, after graduating high school, he joined the university or enrolled in the University of Tennessee. But sometimes within 51 and 53, he dropped out to join the U.S. Air Force, where he served for a period of about 4 years. In 1957, he went back and re-enrolled at the University of Tennessee. And there he wrote 2 notable stories that made it to the university's campus literary magazine, and they became hot topics for everyone on campus, that's students and staff alike. This encouraged him to pursue a degree in some form of creative writing. Technically, he's listed as being a novelist, a playwright, as well as a screenplay writer. His genres include post-apocalypse, westerns, and Southern Gothic. Those 3 are his primary genres of writing. Now, McCarthy is the first person since I profiled Stephen King about a month or so ago, where there seems to be a wealth of information. So I'm not going to focus primarily on his works. I want to talk about McCarthy, the man. So that's what I'm going to do, or attempt anyway. So, like I said, his family relocated to Knoxville, Tennessee in 1937. But as an adult, he legally had his first name changed from Charles to Cormac after an Irish king. Now, he moved to Chicago sometime in the 1960s, the early part of the 60s, which is where he met and married and became a father for the first time. He was married and divorced 3 times. His first wife, Lee Holloman, she was a student just like he was at the time. They met and became parents of the son, Colin. But the marriage only lasted a year. They married in 1961, divorced in 1962, which I believe Well, I know it is his shortest marriage. Now, in 1965, his first novel, The Orchard Keeper, was published. This was 1 year before he married for the second time. His second wife's name was or is Anne Delisle or Anne Delisle. Not sure if I'm saying it right, but they were married from 1966 to 1981. Now, they met over in Europe, and they dated for roughly 2 years before they married. So, all total, he was with her, I guess, about 18 years before they went on. And from what I could tell, there were no children from this particular union. Now, Cormac is a novelist. He has 12 novels to date, and his last one was just last year. But a lot of his novels, several of them, have gone on to be adapted into film. All the Pretty Horses, The Crossing, and Cities on the Plain, those 3 books combined are known collectively as the Border Trilogy. But then he has Child of God, The Road, No Country for Old Men, and I think that I can't remember. I think like the last one was Stella Maris. That came out last year sometime. He also has a few essays and a few short stories to his credit. His last marriage, though, was he married Jennifer Winkley. They married in 1997, and then they have one son, John. Their marriage lasted from 1997 to 2006. So, one of his books, The Road, which is what I am going to be telling you all about shortly here, sometime between this afternoon and tomorrow, it went on to win a Pulitzer Prize for fiction. He won that. But then his movie, the biggest movie or book, commercially, critically, and any other way, was No Country for Old Men. That movie was released sometimes. Some articles say 2005, some say 2006. But whenever it came out, the one thing that is the same no matter where I looked is that movie went on to win 4 Academy Awards in different categories, including Best Picture in 2007. Now, I'm not necessarily the biggest movie buff, so although that impressed me that he went on and won, this book and this movie was so big that it just took over. That is impressive. I won't ever take that away. But what impressed me more was the Pulitzer, because I read. I don't really watch movies. So that's what that one was. Now, McCarthy was, or maybe still is, I don't know, but he is now known as what we used to call teetotalers. Before I started researching this, I don't know the last time I heard or seen that word anywhere. So I'm probably dating myself. I'm probably older than any one of my subscribers are. So, any of you don't know what that is, let me tell you. A teetotaler is what's known as someone who neither drinks nor smokes. Now, it didn't say anything about whether or not he smoked, but he did used to be fond of drink. He loved drinking so much that he did stop. He really did stop drinking, but that's still not my definition of teetotaler. That's something I hadn't heard since I was, probably 10. But I guess better late than never, because he stopped drinking 16 years ago, which, if you do the math, God willing, he will be 90 years old July 20th of this year. So if he just stopped drinking 16 years ago, that's going to put him roughly 76 or 77 when he stopped drinking. Gosh, better late than never. Better late than never, I guess. Now, I couldn't find anything that said when he started drinking. It just said that he stopped about 16 years ago. And he is so dedicated to not drinking anymore that he was once quoted as saying that the friends he has now are those who don't drink. So that's the story of Mr. Charles Cormac, or Cormac Charles Joseph McCarthy Jr. I hope you all learned something from this, something perhaps you didn't know. I didn't know any of it because I'd never heard of or watched this. But now my husband has watched this movie and read the book. He's read this book, The Road, 2, possibly 3 times. And he didn't enjoy. He watched the movie, but he didn't like the movie. He said the movie made him mad. But if you read a lot, most of the time, you will see a lot of things being cut out because movies only have so long that they have to try to squeeze everything. But one of my good friends from ever since we were, 5 and 8, she likes both. She loves to read. She also loves movies. And she used to tell me, okay, now you cannot expect everything to be in the book that's in the movie. And I don't. It's just that a lot of what they choose to leave out of the movie is what I like most about the books. So, yeah, I'll start out trying to watch a movie and say, okay, this is not the book. This is the movie, okay? And I find if I watch the movies before I read the book, I do like the movie a wee bit better, but I'll still prefer the book over the movie. Doesn't matter which one I do first. But if I read the book first, I'm not as likely to watch the movie because I already know it's just going to be chiseled to death. So I just don't care to watch the movies when I already know that's how it's going to be. But anyway, this concludes this week's segment of About the Author, featuring Charles Joseph McCarthy Jr., author of numerous novels, plays, and films. What else was I going to say about him? Oh, yeah, and the book that I read was The Road. We'll talk about that later on. Okay, now you already know the old routine. Subscribers, thank you first and foremost for being subscribers. I really appreciate you. And do not forget to like and share this video. Visitors, if you happen upon my channel, please feel free to join us. We would love to have you here. And everyone, should you choose to comment, and I hope you do, please comment respectfully and make sure that your notification bells are turned on so you will know every time I upload a video. And in the meantime, bookers, bookettes, and book lovers alike, remember this: as long as there are books around, there's always something to read. Bookers, bookettes, and book lovers, be safe. Thanks for watching and or listening, and God bless.